it's Abbi J, your life coach, and today's video we are going to do a life coaching session about preserving your freedoms as a teenager. And we're not getting very political, so hear me out on this. We are going to talk about how the choices you're making right now can either lead to more and better choices in the future or severely limit your options, because a lot of teens misunderstand this and they think that because they have some independence now that they can make choices that they don't understand are going to lead to them having less independence and options in the future. So I want to break down with you how as a teenager you can be sure to preserve those freedoms and independence that you have and continue to expand your life and the options all around you. So let's dive into this coaching session together. So one thing that I love to touch on as a coach with like the teens that I talk to is freedom, which is such a weird concept because we're like, yeah, sweet. We live in a free country. We're all like free to make our choices. But as a teen, you are getting more and more freedom typically every year of your life, right? And I think that there's this period, I've talked about it before, this decade of decision from like 15 to 25, where you are making life-altering, amazing choices. But those choices can either lead to more and better things in your life, or they can lead you to severely limiting your options. So here's some examples that I love to talk about. So a lot of times I talk to teens and they just tell me about how strict their parents are and how they get in trouble all the time because they miss curfew or they break their parents' rules. And we break down and we talk about how that actually limits our freedoms by not following the rules. So when it comes to like staying out past curfew in this example, if we stay out past curfew, just because we're having a great time and that's our choice, right? We have the car keys, we can stay out, we can hang out with our friend, and it feels awesome at the time, but we come home, not only do we have the consequence of like dealing with an upset parent, but also more than likely your parents are going to start to pull back on that curfew. And so if your curfew used to be midnight and you keep blowing past that, your parents are going to either tell you you're grounded or you can't stay out now past 11 or 10 o'clock. Like, that freedom of staying out is starting to be limited, right? And so that's just like a really simple and easy example of how when we break the rule, we actually create less freedom for ourselves, because then our parents tell us, hey, you can't go out this Friday night, or hey, you don't get the car keys, or hey, you have to be back by 10 now, right? And the more that we push past that, if you just kept blowing past their curfew, the more they're going to take away your freedoms to hang out with people or to go out, and you're just going to be like grounded for the rest of your life, right? So that's a silly example. And I shouldn't say silly, it's a smaller real life example. Now let's talk about a slightly bigger example of how we can limit our freedom, especially as a teenager. If you decide to participate in underage drinking, 1, you could get in trouble with your parents. 2, you could get in trouble with the law. And 3, you could cause some severe damage that is going to limit your options and choices for life in the future. So, maybe the first couple times it's just like not a big deal. It seems like you're making a really adult choice and this is your choice and your freedom to do this. But your mom and dad find out, right? So then you're grounded and you lose the car key privileges, and like those freedoms are taken away. Well, we keep doing it, right? Well, if we get in trouble maybe with the police or the law, or maybe you start like you got pulled over because you were drunk while you were driving, you lose your license and now you can't drive places, right? You have stuff on your record. So now there's jobs and opportunities and even like people that you can't date or hang out with now because you've got this record. And even more extreme than that, let's pretend either you got hurt or you drank so much that it like caused some brain damage or anything like that because your brain's still developing. Now there's opportunities that are going to be harder for you in life. Not that they aren't there, they're still possible, but they're going to be harder for you because of the decision that you made to drink underage. Now, I'm not trying to get like religious or rulesy on you. I'm just trying to show you the cause and effect of our actions. So let's flip this around. Let's say that you are choosing to work extremely hard right now in school and really focus on your grades. And you're getting good grades and you're working hard, you're doing those AP tests, and it sucks and it's hard and it takes so much time and effort. But guess what that leads to? That leads to scholarships, that leads to colleges being open to your possibility, that leads to recognition, that leads to opportunities, to internships, to jobs that couldn't come any other way because of your hard work and effort in putting in the time now, which guess what? It's hard and it sucks, but it totally paid off in the future. So what does this all mean for you right now in your life? Well, I want you to take out a piece of paper, or even you can do this on your phone. And I want you to write like a column. We're gonna divide it in half. And on one side, you're gonna put things I'm doing. And on the other side, you're gonna write where they lead. Because we never stop to think about this kind of stuff, like ever, right? So one side's got things I'm doing, the other side's got where they lead. And this is where I want you to take some time. You can pause this video, you can do it here with me, and write down, okay, what am I doing in my life right now? And in high school, I would put like AP tests, which is hard. I'm working on good grades. And then like, I'm making this up now, right? So in my pretend example, if I was a high school student, so I'm taking AP tests, I'm doing good grades. Let's say that I'm sleeping with my boyfriend. And I'm working a summer job. And what else? Let's say that maybe I've started to smoke some weed, but my parents don't know about that. So that's maybe something new that like I've tried, right? Okay, so you've got your list of kind of like what's going on in your life right now. Okay, now we're gonna take it over. My pen needs to work, my marker, and say, where does it lead? Okay, so AP tests, college credit. And that's something I really did do in high school, and it saved me maybe 3 semesters worth of work. And I'm not pretending it was easy. There were days I cried my eyes out because of my AP tests, but it led to college credit, good grades, college options, scholarships, okay, sleeping with my boyfriend, where does that lead? Well, it could, in an extreme case, if you aren't careful, like pregnancy. It could lead to an STD. It could lead to getting your heart broken. And here's the thing, I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to impose my religious beliefs on you. I'm not trying to impose, like, you should be doing this, you shouldn't be doing this. But I'm just saying that, like, why I think this exercise is valuable is you're like, yeah, sure, I love sleeping with my boyfriend, right? Like, that's the reason we do it, right? It feels good. We like it. It feels like it's connecting you. But it doesn't lead to anything good right now. Because, like, I'm a firm believer, and I teach this to teens because my job as your coach is to protect your heart and your body, right? Your mind, your heart, your body. That's my job, to help protect you. And having sex outside of marriage, it only leads to getting our heart broken at the very least, STDs, or pregnancy. There just isn't a good outcome for that. And so hopefully if this was like, you know, me looking at this as a teen, I could be like, ooh, that decision could potentially really limit my future. Like let's pretend that I got an STD or anything like that. That limits like some of my health options. That limits some of like my partner options, in the fact that like you've got to reveal that to people. And now you've got to like pretend you meet Mr. Right. Can you imagine having that conversation? Oh, hey, Mr. that I want to spend my whole life with. Let's get married. Let's raise a family together. By the way, I have this disease. And so either like one, you got to know that, but two, like you've got to deal with that problem now. Are you willing to accept that problem? Because I slept with a boyfriend in high school, right? Okay, moving down the list, working on a summer job. What does that lead to? Leads to money, experience, all great things. And then my last example here, because I'm trying to give you some good and bad ones, smoking weed, right? I think, and truly, like, I'll tell you right now, I don't know the statistics on weed and teenage brains, but I do know the statistics on like alcohol in teenage brains and like drug use and tobacco use, and it's not good, right? So, brain damage, unknown. At the very least, like your clothes smell bad. Right? I could be in serious trouble with my parents. So I get that this is our made up example, but I hope that as you break down your life, that you are really proud of the decisions and where they're leading. And if you have a couple that you're just like, I don't know, like, I don't know, you know, I hope you can change those. I hope you can look at those and say, this isn't where I want my life to go. I want to preserve my freedoms. I want to preserve my options. I want to preserve my ability to choose, you know, because let's take these examples again. And I'm sorry to beat like this dead horse, but like, so let's pretend we were like weed and drinking, right? Because I know a little bit more about teenage drinking. Pretend, you know, you were high and drunk and you hit somebody with your car, right? All of a sudden, your life changes and your driver's license taken away. It's forever on your record. You have to live with that. Like, that is going to change. And there are a ton of jobs out there that now you don't qualify for because that's on your record. Now you don't qualify for because you have had those substances before, right? Like police officers, FBI agents, like there's a lot of prestigious jobs that now you just discounted yourself out of. Sleeping with your boyfriend. So I gave you that example of like, you know, what if you got a sexually transmitted disease and now you got to go tell that to somebody who you want to go spend your whole life with? They could totally say, you know what, that's not for me, or that's not something that I want in a partner, so peace out, right? Or even just saying like, if you had a baby in high school, which guess what, everything is work, like you can work through anything. And I know amazing people who had babies in high school. But that limits your freedom. Like you might not be able to graduate on time. You might have to go to a different school because of childcare. You might have to think about options of adoption. You might have to think about what does life look like as a single mom, or what does life look like, you know, if I go down this route. So I hope that if anything, I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm not trying to tell you what's right and wrong. I'm just trying to help you see that what we're doing right now has an effect in the future. Even though we're like, well, it doesn't matter. Everything matters, good or bad. So I hope that if you're doing great things, you can keep it up, and that this can be your inspiration to keep going and to keep pushing forward. I hope that if you're doing things that are going to lead to a limited freedom, limited options in the future, that you can flip those around for your own sake, for your own options of like, hey, I just want to get to my future and have other options other than, you know, the ones that my choices are leading me down right now. Okay, babes, I hope that was a good life coaching session for you. I hope that was a tool that you can use because honestly, like the things I'm doing and where they lead, you can create this for your life at every year of school, at every decision point that you've got going, or especially when you feel like you're turning your wheels and nothing is happening. So I hope you can use this as a tool to motivate you, and I hope that you can start to look at your decisions and your actions with that perspective of, where is this going, and is it gonna help me in my future? Because like I said, as your life coach, my job is to help you create the future of your dreams, and the future of your dreams needs options. It needs lots of open doors and opportunities for you, and that's what I'm here to help you create. So, babe, wishing you the best of luck. If you had questions about this training, leave a comment down below, and I hope to see you in my next video. So be sure to subscribe, like this video, and of course, I'll see you in my next one. So, Abbi J out.